Welcome back to the channel. It's me, Eric. If you're new, please subscribe. So I got an announcement before we get into today's video. I launched a new t-shirt on my website, and it's basically in honor of getting this car back together and out on track. So if you head over to fluxtuning.com, you can pick it up on there. If e-commerce isn't your thing, don't worry guys, I got you covered. So next month, May 13th to be exact, I got an event coming up at the Silverton Hotel Casino. It's Be My Secret Anime/Car Show. And I will have the Evo 10 out there, so you guys can come check it out and see what's going on with the car. Also, you can pick up t-shirts, stickers, all sorts of stuff at my booth. So come check that out. All right, let's get into today's video. So we made it out here to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the first ever Vegas Cup. And we got the Evo 10 out here. So first session's about to start. I gotta get the car prepped and then we'll go out for the first session. All right, so here we're in grid and I'm just getting ready to fire up the car and they're gonna send us out onto course. Now this is the first session of the day, so I'm gonna be taking it careful and just kind of get a feel of the car. And this is my first time running the full course on Las Vegas Motor Speedway outside road course. So yeah, I got a little bit of learning to do. Like I said, just going out, trying to get some heat in the tires first, and just learn the lay of the land, and you know, see if there's anything going on with the vehicle. There's no sense in the first, session of the day to go out there and try and set a new lap. And what I've experienced in the past, kind of in the earlier parts of the year, is that in the morning, usually the track doesn't have enough temperature to get enough grip to do anything spectacular. So you kind of got to wait a few sessions for the track to heat up and the ambient temps to heat up. Oh, and you can see here I just spun out. So yeah, there was that on the warm-up lap. So that was pretty embarrassing on the warm-up lap, having a spin out, but things happen on track, so no big deal. Here I'm just pulling in, talking to the race steward. He was just curious, what happened, because I got black flagged on the warm-up lap. And yeah, here I'm just explaining what went on. So he's just gonna look over the car real quick, make sure there's no rock or debris on my vehicle, that I wouldn't be scattering all over the track. And then he's gonna find me a spot and get me back out on track so I can finish this first session. First session is over and we survived, so that's a good thing. I did on the out lap, or the warm-up lap, have a spin out, which was kind of embarrassing. I got black flagged for that, but I just don't think I had my tires pressured down enough because it was pretty loose. So, but once I went around a couple times, got some heat in the tires, it was all good. So I'm gonna just take care of a few things on the vehicle, and then we got our second session coming up. tightened up a few loose ends that I had on the car, and it's going to be much more comfortable this time around doing it. So we're about to start session 2. So the second session is over, and it definitely went quicker, but not without casualty. Looks like some of the wiring on my side marker got chewed up by the wheel, I'm guessing. But didn't cause any issues really out there. But I was able to get some data, so that's good. So now, let's go take a look around the pits and see what's going on. Alright, so for the third and final session, I'll just let this video do the talking. No narration needed for this. third session didn't go so great. I had this intermittent cutout of all power basically, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. First session had no issues with this, second session had no issues with it. I know when I came off of the second session, I did notice that my side marker was destroyed, so I don't know, maybe something's shorting out there. I definitely have to take a look at it. Made it this far, you guys are the real ones. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I may not have expressed this too well throughout the video of how excited or my emotions. This is my baby. I've had this for over 14 years, and yeah, it meant the world to me to get it out on track and be able to actually race it, especially after such a devastating incident at the drag strip, blowing up a fresh build the first time going out racing. That happens sometimes in racing, so it's the bounce back, you know, the comeback that makes it all worth it. So I've had a little bit of time to think about and reflect the track day, the different obstacles or challenges I had to overcome throughout the day. That just sometimes is what comes with the territory with racing. Ideally, it would be nice to just go out for the track and everything works perfectly and you can just focus on seat time and getting faster. That doesn't always happen though. So yeah, you have to go through and deal with these challenges, and that's part of racing. So the first thing that I'd address is basically the tires on the car. I think I've had them since like 2016, so they're old tires. They're not dry rot, but yeah, they're definitely extended beyond their life for sure. And they weren't really that used. I mean, mostly just did car shows with it, so for the most part it just sat, you know. That was part of my issue with grip on it, and I definitely need to address that next time before I go out to the track, is get a new set of tires, and probably in a larger size, to be honest, because in fourth gear, I mean, going down that front straight, I was spinning all 4 tires as soon as I would get onto boost. So that was a little bit scary, I'm gonna be honest, man. You know, I think my top speed on the front straight was 110. On the back straight that there is, I got up to 116. So yeah, not having the best tires definitely makes your confidence in your grip or confidence in the car a lot lower. So that will need to be addressed. You might have noticed in the first session, the warm-up lap, my digital dash was falling down. So I made that little bracket. I definitely need to readdress how that's mounted, because it's another thing. You can't stay focused on driving when you have stuff happening in your car, and that's something that's important. You need to see your RPMs, your shift light, all that stuff. It's a really great tool, and if you can't see it, then it's pointless and it's distracting. So I was able to get, you know, zip ties and fix it, get it mounted, get it stay up for the rest of the day. But I gotta find a better solution than zip ties. So that will need to be addressed. Another issue that I had with the car was the mirrors. I gotta figure out how to get the set screw or something in it to stay put, because as soon as I hit any sort of speed, like even more than like 50 miles per hour on the track, they would start to tilt down, and then I wouldn't be able to see, you know, what's going on the sides of the car. I had to rely solely on my rear mirror if people were passing or trying to pass me. So yeah, I need to address that. Once again, it's just another distraction on the car, and you can't really focus on driving, you know, faster when you have these distractions going on. But right now I just have an open dump downpipe. I could get roughly about 2 laps in before it just was overwhelming, to be honest. I mean, my eyes were burning, my throat was burning from the exhaust fumes. So I gotta address that. I gotta get some sort of exhaust that goes out the back or just further away from the cabin where, you know, I'm sitting in the cockpit, because that's, once again, I'm not trying to make excuses for anything, but these are the things that you encounter that you don't really know when you're building a car until you actually go out there and start ripping on it and find these things out. So that's, you know, that was what I encountered, is basically a very uncomfortable feeling of being asphyxiated, if you will. Maybe that's a little bit dramatic, but yeah, it just wasn't comfortable. So I had to bring the car in because I just couldn't do any more laps. But on the brighter side, going that fast, you know, in the car, and it's got a lot of jam. And yeah, I look forward to getting more seat time in the car with a better setup. I kind of already know suspension wise what I'd like to do to it. It does need a quarter balance and alignment. Since I put the transfer case and the rear differential back in the car, I'm sure things got a little out of whack. I'd like to also kind of go the same route that I did on my U09 and basically do 10K up front, 12K in the rear, and that way I just know, like, I'm confident in the vehicle of where I point it, and I know it's going to do what I want it to do, and not have that uncertainty. The last thing I need to address on the car is whatever is happening in the third session. I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna have to suss that out, and unfortunately that's like a condition that I can only find out when I'm on course. It could be a little bit of a headache trying to figure out what it is, but hopefully it's something pretty obvious to me when diagnosing it that I could fix. But basically the power was just like cutting out completely. Like the dash would turn off, the engine would cut out and then come back on, but it was just an intermittent kind of thing that it didn't completely die, but it was like, hey, I'm not gonna go ripping around the course with this thing doing that, because if I'm going 100 miles per hour and I have somebody behind me, all of a sudden it just stops. That's dangerous for both of us. So I gotta address that for sure before going back on track. The other thing that I needed to address that I noticed that maybe it wasn't caught on camera or shown on camera is that I was having I wouldn't say overheating, but the temperatures were getting a little bit hot during pre-grid and sitting in grid. So I need to address the cooling situation on the Evo 10. So yeah, I'll be looking into that. I'm thinking of maybe just wiring up a switch directly to the fan, so if I'm in grid or whatever, I could turn it on and hopefully keep the temps down. That was pretty cool on the dash, having a warning for the temperature and then an alarm when it is actually bad. So that was cool to have that to give me the warning to turn the car off while just sitting in grid. But while I was on track, I had no issues with overheating. So yeah, it's something to do with just sitting there at idle. I mean, that's a huge turbo kit, and I think it's notorious on a lot of Evo 10 time attack cars to have issues with heating. So I'll get that stuff sorted out. But hey, enough rambling on my part. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and be sure that you subscribe. There's gonna be more content coming up, and I can't wait to show you what's next for this vehicle. All right, peace out, guys.